So hey everyone, today I'm going to be going over my favorite effects for Magic Bullet looks. Before you click off the video, at least leave knowing that you can use all of these presets and save a lot of time. When you open Magic Bullet looks and hover over this over here where it says looks and click on looks over here, all of these presets are going to show up. Using these can save a lot of time instead of creating them from scratch, and there are so many to choose from which can look very cinematic. I've also clicked on the star next to them which adds them to my favorites over here, and so whenever I make an edit I usually just head over to my favorites and just select a preset. However, I am going to be going over my favorite effects, so if I just get rid of every single effect applied to this clip, if I hover over the tools option, these should pop up. On the subject tab, I like to use the effect called soft exposure. Double click to apply the effect. This can brighten or darken a specific spot on your clip. So if I just resize this really quick just to make it a little bit smaller, and let's say I just wanted to darken this spot around here, all I have to do is set these stops to -1 and it's going to darken my chosen area, as you can see. Of course I can do the opposite as well, brighten it up. So if I just change it to 1, it brightens this specific spot or even a character's face to make it stand out more than the background. And of course I can change up the spread and increase it to make it look a bit softer. The next effect that I like to use is in the post tab and it's called S-curve. To me it's a little bit like the contrast effect but much better, and it's very experimental. So you can see that there's this graph over here that appears. Dragging it up will make the clip brighter and dragging it down makes it darker. And when I say up, I mean the top left, and when I mean dark, I mean the bottom right. If I place it around the lower half and then pull this bit to the left, you can see that it gives the clip a very strong contrast look. Turning it all the way up will make the brighter parts stand out more. In my opinion, it's one of the best effects in Magic Bullet looks. The next effect is Chromatic aberration. It can give off a very nice RGB split effect. So I'm going to set the red to, I think, around 2, the green to -1, I believe, and I think the blue was set to 3. And immediately you can notice that it creates this RGB split. Tripling the values can make it stand out even more. Renoiser, this effect is very good for adding texture, I would say. If I set the grain amount to 125, you can see that there's a lot of fuzz around it. I would say that this grain effect works best with still images or still text. Another effect is called pop, which I discovered recently. Turning up the pop amount can make it stand out even more, or at least the edges around a character or an object. I honestly don't even know how this effect even works. I mean, if you turn it up, the quality looks better, or at least gives the illusion of making it look more HD, haze flare. I would say that this one is more of an overlay because it's basically adding a flare overlay. Overlays make your footage look less boring, and this serves the same purpose, I would say. Lens vignette, one of my favorite effects. Turn up the amount and also the vignette. This really does help put focus on a specific spot. Before adding the vignette, we can see the character, but it's not really focused on him. But adding it on, it kind of covers the edges. It's similar to the exposure effect that I showed previously, but other than that, that's pretty much all the effects that I use. I don't really make use of a lot of the effects. Instead, I use the presets because they save a lot of time and also they look very good. I mean, just look at this one. It's called flip-flops and it looks great. Of course, I can modify it and make it look how I want it to, so I can add some S-curve onto it, so then it contrasts a little bit more. Just move it to the left a little and just a little bit down, so yeah, it looks like this, and it only took a couple of seconds. Anyways, thank you for watching and I will see you next time. So yeah, peace.